My name is Anna McCarter, and I would like to speak with you for a few moments about the effects of standardized testing on the students currently in kindergarten through 12th grades, as well as the ones that are now in the college atmosphere after 11 years of No Child Left Behind. There is documented support both for and against this history-making act. Standardized testing was not started by No Child Left Behind, it was simply changed by it. More widely referred to as simply NCLB, it required testing be mandatory for every child in the United States. It was in actuality a re-signing of an existing bill, as stated in Education Week in the article No Child Left Behind on August the 4th of 2004. The Elementary and Secondary Education Act, the central federal law in pre-collegiate education, first authorized in 1965 and carried on by the re-signing of the bill in 1994. When readdressed in 2001 by the Bush administration, it increased the federal role in education. This information is an overview of some of the documented positive and negative outcomes of this very controversial topic. I have studied and read a number of periodicals and texts related to this information. I'm going to inform you of the opinions of testing by citing experts in the field of education and informed writers who have performed lengthy studies on students before and during the academic year. As far back as the 1800s, students were tested on their language and math skills. The first widely recognized and used standardized test was the SAT, which was first written in 1926. Since then, the market for tests has exploded, with new tests written and marketed every year. They are written by both educators and researchers from large corporations. In Defining Ideals, a whole institutional journal, Herbert J. Wahlberg wrote in the article, "Stop the article against standardized testing." He said that testing was an inexpensive means of testing both students' knowledge of a given subject and the teacher's efficiency in teaching it. His studies indicated that tests were largely inexpensive when compared with other methods of measurement. They are geared to cover specific subjects and give a measurable outcome of the student's knowledge. Another reason for the testing was that the No Child Left Behind Act required a way of measuring accountability of teachers and schools for the education that they provided. The most effective way of doing this was felt to be by requiring a standardized test. Each state, however, does have the option of creating and using their own varieties. As most of you know, in Texas, that test is currently the STAR exam. These tests were originally intended to help bridge the educational gaps made by both social and economic differences in students around the United States. It is believed by many educators this can be accomplished by teaching the same material to all students at differing levels of delivery, dependent on that student's ability to understand. Therefore, the test would be able to measure the same outcomes. However, on the other side of the argument sits teachers, students, and school administration bodies that believe that they are being unfairly judged and condemned by the use of standardized testing. In Current Issues in Education, Volume 14, in the article Teachers' Perceptions of the Influences of NCLB on Classroom Practices by Craig A. Mertler, he records that many teachers believe that the testing requirements are causing sharp delineations from regular student populations and minority groups and students with special needs. The test scores, which are grouped by race, help to single out those groups that are low performing and possibly responsible for bringing down the total score for that particular school. It allows both the students and the principals possible encouragement to allow those students to drop out, increasing the dropout rates of minorities, which are already above the normal. Another complaint being recently noted by educators at the college level is that the students are graduating with poor writing, critical thinking, and higher education skills. As most standardized tests are written in a multiple choice format and essay questions are graded for content instead of grammar or critical thinking skills. Michelle Goodman writes in the article, "Law professors see the damage done by No Child Left Behind," published by the Chronicle of Higher Education in March 12, 2013. Other professors state that students demand answers to tests prior to the exam because they, throughout their high school careers, have been given these answers to improve the overall test scores of the schools. Professors are now obligated to teach basic writing skills and critical thinking in their advanced curriculum. In closing, I hope that you now have a better understanding of both these arguments and a better understanding of what you and your children are facing in the American school systems in today's world. In summation, do you think standardized testing is improving or hurting our kids today? Thank you.